Hi, it's Michelle Einstein, Songbird Song. I just finished reading Jonathan Livingston Seagull, this book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It was a very popular book, and the point is, our one freedom is to love and to choose to live each day of our lives as we wish. Now, this is if we are mentally healthy. Listen, if you're not mentally healthy, you don't have a choice. You are driven by your obsessions, I guess you'd call it. I had a breakthrough that when I was 6 years old, I transferred my consciousness supernaturally into Lot's wife, who was looking back, disobeying God after the homosexuals in Sodom and Gomorrah because she wanted to know why in God's name there would be homosexuals. My sister raped me when I was 3 or 4 years old. She told me to take down my pajama bottoms and get on top of her naked body. My question was, why would somebody ask me to do this? Especially since I'm her little slave. She's my older sister. And without her, I don't know, I guess I would die of loneliness or something. So I did what she said. But the question remained in my mind, why would she ask me to do this in the first place? Why? So the answer is, she's a lesbian. A part of her is a lesbian. She was Gertrude Stein, and she was Thea Gibson, a tennis player. Now, Jesus Christ, Charan Singh told me that the reason Indians in India don't have psychiatrists on every street corner is because they talk about everything. So should I have been able to talk to my mother about what my sister had me do, I would have had some kind of answer to the question, because I could have asked my mother, why would she ask me to do that? And then my mother could have asked her, if she talked to her openly, why did you ask her to do that? And then the sister could have said, if she was honest, or because I'm attracted to her, or whatever was the reason. That must have been the reason, because she was a lesbian. So the point is this: in America, we don't talk to our children honestly about things. I just heard that Pinocchio, the original edition of the book, was about a horrible, horrible, terrible little boy named Pinocchio, to warn little boys not to be bad or they would suffer dire consequences. But Walt Disney whitewashed the film. So this American people don't have the thick skin necessary to talk about tough things like bad, 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 vicious little boys, you see. So I couldn't talk to my mother about that. I guess I had been programmed earlier in life. You don't talk to us about personal things, because I didn't talk about personal things to anybody. So my mind would do these weird things to adjust, like having me transfer my consciousness to Lot's wife so I could understand Lot's wife's position, because she had the same problem I had: homosexuality, lesbianism, same-sex dysfunction. And all my life I wondered why homosexuals are always in my life. When I was a little girl, asleep in my mother's bed, there was a boy painting our house. So I woke up and there he was, naked. Or at least, his penis was exposed, and he was in bed with me, saying, I was about 10 years old, he was 12, saying, don't scream. And I didn't scream. I endured feeling disgusted, feeling his flesh touch me intimately. He didn't get a hard on. That's what he wanted. He thought, since I was Venus, that I could persuade him, entice him, seduce him, or somehow have him get a hard dick so he wouldn't be a homosexual. He didn't want to be a homosexual, but he was, because he had transferred his consciousness to a sister. So he was partly his sister, a girl. That makes a homosexual. A boy who wants to be a girl. So, I'm in this insane asylum over here full of homosexuals. And I have been Freud, I've been Emma Jung, Carl Jung's wife and psychoanalyst. I have been Laura Pearls, who founded Gestalt therapy. So it has taken me lifetimes, but I now understand schizophrenia. It's simply transferring your consciousness and becoming someone else as a part of your being, so that unconsciously. So you're acting out somebody you don't even know you're acting out. So if somebody says, "Who are you?" you can't say, Lot's wife, because you don't remember. I'm talking about myself in the third person. Because you don't remember becoming Lot's wife. You knew you did, but you didn't have the words because you didn't talk about it. It was just an action, unspoken, undeveloped thought, undeveloped behavior that you didn't understand because you weren't able to talk about it. So why am I saying this? I'm just telling you, parents, if you want to raise sane children, you better talk about everything with them. And that's going to be hard for you because you weren't allowed to talk about everything. So you got your own hang-ups about hearing what these children have to say. So the only cure is talk and share therapy, which I invented or created or discovered. And that is to own what you experience. So if your child tells you that he wants to put his penis in his little brother's behind, you just admit the truth. You are shocked. You are horrified. You are incredulous. You want to smack the little boy. You're angry. You know, that's the only way you can deal with this. Because we are our awareness. We are our attention span. That is who we are. We are not the social construct that they tell us you are middle class or lower class or upper class, whatever they tell you are. You are good, you are bad, whatever they tell you are at a certain age. Until 7 years old, you believe them. So, but the bottom line is the fundamental awareness that we are is what can save us. Expressing to yourself on paper or aloud what you are experiencing. That way you can endure anything. You are being in the present. You are being in touch with reality. You are being sane. And that's the way to stay sane. Every time your state of being changes, own it. I just started feeling fear. I am now feeling whatever it is you're feeling. It doesn't matter. I'm feeling crazy. I'm feeling violent. Whatever you think is unacceptable. If you feel it, own it, and it will release itself from your being. It will go away and stop bothering you, so to speak. Okay, so this is Michelle Einstein Songbird giving you clues to mental health that your psychiatrist or psychologist won't give you because they don't know it. Because they transfer their consciousness to their patients. And like my son said, the psychiatrists are the ones who are crazy. They are, because they transfer their consciousness to their crazy patients. And their crazy patients sometimes transfer their consciousness to the psychologist. So you see how that works? And so they become sane, like the psychologist, if the psychologist is sane. If not, they become crazy like the psychologist. Einstein said you can't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created the problem. So, if you are looking to the psychologist to solve your problem, and she's looking to you to find out what is your problem, and she's becoming you, she can't help you because you can't solve your own problem. And if she's you, she can't solve your problem because she's lost herself. She lost her objectivity. Understand? I hope I'm being clear because it's very important information I'm giving you. The survival of the world depends on us becoming sane because we're insane at this point. Okay, but talk and share therapy can make us sane again, being in touch with what we're experiencing instead of being in touch with who they say we are or what we should be experiencing or shouldn't be feeling. You see that? Actuality, fundamental awareness is without symbolism. That's what Deepak Chopra said. In other words, it's truth. Fundamental awareness is truth. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's real. Because what we are going about is lies. You know, when I told myself, I didn't tell myself, there were no words. When I became Lot's wife, that was a lie. I'm not Lot's wife. You know, but I experienced her consciousness because I could do that supernaturally. You can transfer. It's called transference, you know. So, the truth really does set you free. That's thanks to my other mother, Aunt Joni, Sister Joni Wright. She was a missionary to Church of God for having that painted on our house wall in the living room, I think it was. It said, you should know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So I never was afraid of the truth. I ran toward the truth, and that's how I was able to get this breakthrough and a cure for insanity. So listen to the tape as often as you need to understand what I'm telling you. It's not really complicated. I hope I didn't make it sound complicated. It's just taking a moment to see what you're experiencing and say it. In fact, you don't even see it. You just kind of feel it. Feel what you're experiencing and say it. I'm angry. I'm nervous. I'm whatever it is. And it will release from you, and you'll be centered. You'll be normal again. No matter what has been done to you, no matter what you've had to hear, no matter what you've had to endure, you can be sane again if you own the feelings you felt as a result of your experience. Okay? All right. I'm going to end the video for now. So long.